Hey guys, this is AwesomeJohn22 coming at you today with another review. This time we are taking a look at Transformers 4 Age of Extinction Deluxe Class Dinobot Scorn. This time we're starting out in his alt mode, so no jump cut magic today. Mostly because I think the dinosaur that this guy is based on, the Spinosaurus or Spinosaurus or something, is one of the coolest dinosaurs ever. And this is actually my preferred mode for this guy, so it's the mode I had him in. So taking a look first at his robot mode, you can see very nice red and orange. He has the chompy jaws, nice blue eyes, very similar to Leader Class Grimlock, which I reviewed earlier. The spines are soft rubbery plastic, the tail is soft rubbery plastic. He's got the arms down here that do move on ball joints. His head can go back and forth. It can look up, though it breaks the neck a little bit to do that. It can rotate, and his legs can move, you can see, but that'll almost certainly unpeg this section here, which you don't really want to do until transformation. He has knees, sort of. Mostly, though, his legs are pretty static. And there's one really cool thing about this guy that I will talk about once we get into robot mode. And I think there's actually a mod for this guy who already goes in the direction I want to point out. I'm going to see if I can find it and put a picture in here for the ending picture of this video, if I can find it. I'm not 100% sure I'll be able to. But you should be able to see it. But don't worry, I'll point it out anyway once we get to robot mode. But yeah, I absolutely love this thing. I think it looks great. It's kind of small. I'll show you next to another Deluxe. Here we have one of his fellow Dinobots. It's just standard Deluxe robot mode height, and you can see Scorn is pretty small next to him. So it's a small Spinosaurus, but it is certainly a cool Spinosaurus, and I really love the red and orange. I think they complement each other very, very well. Now, his face has got a whole lot of life to it. Like, you can imagine a whole character based on this guy. Now, sadly, the red and orange is not a good Autobot symbol there. Which, not a whole lot of super obvious Autobot symbols on these guys so far, but there's a good one right there. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm kind of bummed. The promotional stuff we've been seeing of these guys show them all to be kind of a metal gray, silver color-ish in the movie, and so he's not going to have this cool red and orange color scheme in the movie, which kind of bums me out. But it's alright. He will always be red and orange in my heart. Okay, I'm never going to do that again, I promise. Anyway, you can see good detail with like the ridges down his back that kind of lead into the spines and then lead out of the spines. And you wouldn't know it to look at him, because you would just expect this to be like a part of the joint, like a gap for the joint, but his hand is actually right there. It hides very, very well. Transformation is pretty simple. We're going to start by effectively just breaking him. We're going to take all these little bits and just kind of move them down. Then we're going to come here, and we're going to pull out this very well hidden sword that just slots right up there into the tail. Very, very cool. This guy feels like a bigger, better engineered figure. I will tell you that right now. He feels better engineered than a typical Deluxe. But yeah, anyway, we're going to come here. We're going to lower these panels to make leg armor things. I don't know. Then we're going to come up here to his spines, and we are going to, first we're going to unpeg them. Bring it close, you can see little pegs. We're going to unpeg them and rotate them this way. It has to be this way. Then we're going to come back here to the back, and you can see new slots where you peg them in there, and they don't stay super well because they are that soft plastic, but keeps them from flopping around. You can kind of see where the transformation is going already, I'm sure. Next we're going to come here, and we're going to, there's this, here my dogs cleaning themselves in the background there. There's these, there's this orange panel here. That's going to be on this side when we're done. So rotate it that way, and that brings his head up just enough that you can pull it up the rest of the way, which is very, very cool. Automorph. It's a very unobtrusive, very cool automorph gimmick, and I like it. Next, we're going to come down here. We're going to bring his legs forward, and then we're going to lower all of this down like so, and then bring this bit down to kind of lock it into place. Come down, straighten out his legs, and you can see his legs are backwards. Oh no, they're backwards. We must have to turn the legs around. But then that puts the knees in the back of the figure. No, it doesn't. Take his middle toe, bring it around, and it becomes the toe of his feet, his robot feet. And we're pretty much done now. We're going to close his mouth, straighten out his head, bring this around, and come up here, bring out his arm, or his hand rather, rotate this, bring it all down. There's one arm, and then we're going to bring this down, and that's just going to be a weapon arm. Come to the back, bring this down, and bring the arms up to kind of get them out of the way. And that's really the only bit of like robot kibble that's not like obviously part of something else. Because you can see his tail becomes a lance, his head is part of the arm, but those just kind of sit there. But still not too bad, especially for a deluxe class figure. Coming over here and trying not to drop him, he can hold his sword. It's kind of a small sword. You can tell his primary weapon is probably his giant lance. Articulation's good. You can see he's got a 90-degree elbow bend here on his jousting arm, a 90-degree elbow here at the joint that allowed his head to turn in beast mode. Full 360 at the shoulder, in and out at the shoulder. He would have waist articulation, except using it, one, it only goes one direction, and two, it de-automorphs his head, which you don't want to do. Bend at the knee, full hip articulation, nothing in the feet, but overall very good, especially for a deluxe. Rotation at the arms and legs as well, I forgot to mention. And yeah, and in his robot mode, he looks, I think, even in some ways, even better than his Spinosaurus mode. Even though I prefer the Spinosaurus mode just because it's the Spinosaurus. I think he looks even better, though, in this mode in some ways. The spines make really cool decorations for his armor. Let's bring him a little closer. The lance is very cool and big and imposing. He's got all kinds of armor on him. He's got these really cool details retained from his beast mode, the orange going across the red. And just a great looking figure. I love this night motif that they've got going for the Dinobots. Very, very cool. Just a very, very cool figure. If I were to complain about anything with this figure, it's that the legs are a little weirdly shaped. If you can see here, the knee is kind of, I don't know, I think this is actually supposed to be the knee right here, but it's very, very stiff, and I actually forgot a bit of transformation. You bring these panels out to fill in his legs. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I actually think this might be supposed to be the knee, but this is the free bending joint. This joint has kind of like a pseudo ratchet, so it's not going to bend as easily as this one. And either way, the shape of his legs from the side, from the front they look fine, especially now that I remember to transform them all the way. But from the side, they just look odd, and it makes standing him up properly, imposing him a little, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, a little annoying, I guess would be the best way to put it. It's hard to judge what pose he's going to end up in based on the shape of his legs if you're trying to pose him for display. But overall, he looks very, very nice. Put him over here. And once again, bring in another Deluxe Dinobot. You can see he scales very well with his companion here. And to kind of complete the motif, let's bring in Leader Class Grimlock and bump the camera as we do. Move up a bit. You can see Leader class Grimlock absolutely towers over these guys. But still, the knight motif that we have running through this entire, like, sub-line of the movie toys really comes together nicely and looks very cool. Take these away real quick. But yeah, Scorn is a great figure. I really love him. I think he looks great. I think he's, I forgot to point out, his head does rotate. It's just a little difficult because of how sunken in it is. But yeah, head does rotate. Yeah, I think he looks great. He's got this great kind of bucket head. It looks like a proper knight's helm and everything. Absolutely great. Autobot symbol ends up on his chest. Fun figure. If you like the Dinobots, if you think they look cool in the movie, or if you would just like to collect all of them, obviously you have to have this guy. He's the Dinobot, and he looks great. But I think he's a genuinely good figure, too. I think Hasbro and Takara and whoever else worked on designing these guys, I don't know. I think they really went out of their way to make these movie Dinobots good figures for collectors, and I really appreciate that, and Scorn is no exception from that. And quite frankly, I can't think of a single reason not to pick this guy up if you are a Transformers collector. Now, I said there was something about this figure I wanted to show you guys. Looking at this guy with the, let's take the sword away real quick. Looking at this guy and the hand too. Let's put the hand away. Looking at this guy like this, what does he remind you of? He reminds me of Beast Wars Megatron with the dinosaur head for an arm and the dinosaur tail for another arm. And in fact, and like I said, I'll try to find it and put an image at the end of this video. In fact, there's actually already a mod out there that turns this guy into Beast Wars Megatron from the movieverse, and it's absolutely awesome. It's like they made this guy as an homage to Beast Wars Megatron, who, you know from my past reviews, is one of my favorite Transformers characters, and I really, really appreciate that. If it was intentional, especially, I really appreciate the homage. And quite frankly, I've been thinking that he looked like Beast Wars Megatron since the first shots of this guy came out, and I'm glad other people saw it and it wasn't just me, because that would have been embarrassing. But anyway, yeah, this has been a review of Transformers 4 Age of Extinction Deluxe Class Dinobot Scorn. Go pick him up. He is really, really cool. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below if you feel so inclined. In the description down below, there's a link to my blog as well as to my collections video. Check them out. If you see anything in that collections video that you'd like me to review, let me know and I will see what I can do. This has been Awesome John 22, and I will talk to you guys later.